one day I got to the point where it was like, I looked around and I'm like, I'm paying all these people to produce the thing, to go do the thing, right? To do the work, to play the role of the technician. But I kept finding myself continuing to jump into the technician role. And it's because I didn't feel productive. I didn't feel like I was earning my keep if I stayed in the office to do office business building work. So there was this internal struggle that I was constantly like dipping my toe in the water, right? I dipped my toe in the water of the office and building my business and the structure of my business and jumping back in a truck and going to work in the field because that's what I knew. And I got that instant gratification. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're a technician turned business owner, you know what I'm talking about. That's why being a technician, if you've ever became an HVAC technician and then you did something else for a moment. There was one summer out of the 27, 28, going on 28 years that I've been in the industry, that I decided I didn't want to do this. And this was early in my career. It's like after the third year. After the third year, I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. And so I went to work in a warehouse, driving a forklift and loading grain trucks with the forklift and picking orders, right? It was Purina Mills, you know, the brand of animal food, right? And so we picked orders for all the local places that sold this food and orders for like the zoo. So we had all kinds of food. We had monkey food, we had giraffe food, rhinoceros food, I don't know, all these different types of food. And that was a great experience because I realized real quickly that I enjoyed doing technician work because I got this sense of gratification every time I finished a job. I got to be the hero for the customer. And that's what's so cool about being a technician. But when I started my own business, after 4, 5, 6 years, I realized, and I had been in the industry for 15, 16 years at that point, I realized I didn't just want a job. I didn't want to just create a job for myself. I wanted more. It's the same reason that I started my business in the first place, is because I decided that I wanted more. And there's a law called the law of decision. And the law of decision says that every big leap in life is preceded by a clear decision and a commitment to action. So when I started my own business, I made that clear decision. I drew a line in the sand. I'm like, I'm gonna do this. And I started telling people about it. And I got a little bit of support starting out, which really helped me take off. But it was the same way making the transition from being stuck in a truck, stuck on the hamster wheel, not getting the life that I pictured in my mind of what this business ownership was going to be about. It was nothing. It was far from that, right? I pictured the boss that I worked for took 2 4-day vacations every month. It was extended weekends every month. And they had a cabin house by the lake. Well, I wanted a cabin house by the lake. I wanted to take extended weekend vacations. And it wasn't until I started my business that I learned, studying some of Tony Robbins' stuff, he says that starting a business to have more free time is like having a baby because you want to get more sleep, right? It doesn't mix. It's not how it works, especially in the beginning. But for some people out there, it's still not working. It's not the beginning anymore. And if you find yourself eventually wanting to draw that line in the sand, and maybe you're dipping your toe in that water over and over again, like dipping your toe in the office stuff, but then you get uncomfortable in the office because you're not seeing the direct results from the work that you put in, and you don't feel like you're worth your weight anymore. You don't feel like you're Maybe you're even losing some of the relationships that you had in the team the more you spend in the office. That is a transition that you have to go through. It doesn't mean that you can actually be closer to your team when you have more time to spend in the office, because one of the transitions that happens is that when you're in the field, your customers are your clients, right? Those are your external customers. And when you move into the office, you change from external customers. Not that you're not going to ever deal with that anymore and you're not going to be a part of that anymore. You will be to some degree. But your new customers are your internal customers, the people who work with you, your coworkers. Now it's your job to provide for them, to give them opportunities, to give them the ability to provide more and more and more for their family as their knowledge and skills increase. And the only way that you can do that is by increasing your knowledge and skills. So it's a rough transition, and I hope you'll think about that. So that's all I got for you guys. Go make money. Boom.